so enjoy the ride.
In crowd, 815, in crowd, 815, in crowd, 815, in crowd, 815.
No, turn the music down, Greg. It's a little too loud. What I'm trying to say about this, Tom, is that calling somebody a Grinch should really be a compliment. That means they exhibited really great personal growth. That's what I'm thinking. I'm Greg. He's Tom. This is your INCROWD815 podcast for the 20th day of December, the year 2025, the latest it's ever been
in the history of mankind. I don't know.
You big Grinch. Well, Merry Christmas, you big Grinch.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a compliment or not. I've seen the movie. He steals Christmas, And
then he saves Christmas. And then he saves all of Whoville. It's a wonderful, beautiful thing. Yes, he's very ugly, but he saves. His heart grows how many times? 10 times?
10 times, something like that.
Three times, 5 times, 10 times. I forget what he ends up. How many?
100 times. But in the medical field, they call that death. If your heart grows 10 times.
That's a problem.
You die.
Yeah. We have a show for you and the person that's still sleeping next to you. So you might want to wake them up and let them know that the INCROWD815 podcast is on. We're doing our year in review, and hopefully this will be educational for you and the frog that's on Tom's lap this morning. You're using earbuds today instead of your headphones.
I am. I couldn't find my headphones.
Dog got your headphones?
Probably. No, I don't know. Maybe one of the grandkids or something came in here and took them. I don't know. It wasn't. So, yeah.
All right. Well, let's take care of this right off the bat. Our current race to 10 has Tom in the lead by a score of 5-4. Well, look at that. That's a little different. And our big number of the week this week is 38. 38. That's not a big number, Greg. I know it's not a big number, but you'll know it's a big number after I tell you the answer. Is the answer gingerbread or game? Gingerbread or game? Tom's got his answer in, and we'll ask you to put your guess in the comments where you might just win yourself a $25 gift card to the Landscape Connection. Yes, this is a great, if you need some last minute Christmas shopping, South Mulford Road down at Linden, go check out the Landscape Connection and all the things that Michelle has there at the store. It's an amazing store. They got some great stuff there. And I think this might be it last weekend for their Christmas walk. She has this amazing lighted up Christmas walk thing inside their building, which is so beautiful. It's so well done every year. Check it out. Bring the kids, bring the grandparents, do the whole thing, because it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Yeah. So it's there. All you're doing in the comments is typing in gingerbread or typing in game, because that's your guess. Is 38 gingerbread or game? Is there a more simple game than that, Tom? Can there be a more simple game than that?
Probably not.
I don't think so. I'm telling you the answer. You just have to
rock, paper, scissors is pretty simple.
That's got 3 things. Mine only has 2.
That's true. That's true.
Is that whatever? How's your week, buddy? How you doing this week?
My week was good. It was okay. So when the Packers lose, I watch almost zero NFL Network. I'll still watch my podcasts, but I won't watch any NFL Network because I don't want to see replays of it. I don't watch ESPN anyway because I'm philosophically opposed to most of ESPN and and just the way they report things. I'm not a big ESPN fan.
Yeah.
What's that?
I got sick of them a long time ago too.
Yeah.
No thanks. So
they get a little too political, and you know what? Keep the two separate, please.
Well,
otherwise you lose me.
We'll talk Packers football later on because there's a lot to unpack there. I do want to give us a couple of quick shout outs. Life Church up in Roscoe had a wonderful Christmas concert last Sunday night, and a community thing. It was a packed house. There was no place. It was standing room only. All the seats were taken. So kudos to Life Church up in Roscoe for putting on a great program and rallying the community around the message of the birth of Jesus. It was wonderful.
That used to be my church when it was Maranatha Assembly of God, years and years and years ago. My
Okay,
son was just a kid, and he's 33 now. So it's still 30 years ago,
cool.
28, 30 years ago. Anyway, it wasn't Life Church, it was Maranatha. But we went there for quite a while, probably about 5 years or so. It was a good little church.
Kevin Kringle started this church out of First Assembly of God.
He did.
Yeah. So he was a leader there for a number of years before moving down to Florida. So, booked some more guests for our 2026 season of the INCROWD815 podcast this week. So that was fun. Also want to give a shout out to Gemini Solar, Jessica Riley. Is Jessica down here by my show? Yeah, she's down there. Jessica Riley, Envoy Mortgage. It's hard to see because the lights are a little dim in the corner. We delivered our check to Nick's Wish, the $1,000 winning check for the winning trivia team for the last mass karaoke trivia contest. Was the team led by Jess Riley of Envoy Mortgage. And so we had a $1,000 check to deliver, courtesy of Gemini Solar, to Nick's Wish, the $1,000 trivia winner at our last mass karaoke trivia contest. So congratulations to them. That was fun to be able to deliver that this week. A lot of prep stuff this week for next year's calendar of events here at INCROWD815. So one of the things I wanted to show you real quick, I'm going to be sharing the screen a lot today, is this screen right here. I've been advised by someone who should know that we should be using Eventbrite more. So I took the advice, and we have our events for next year up on Eventbrite. And they don't release them all at once, but the January linked lunch and the January INCROWD815 event at Lucha Cantina are both on there. Looks like February. I think the green. I have to double check what the yellow means. Maybe there's information missing. I don't know. Anyway, there's the so far scheduled events for INCROWD815 and our Rockford Link lunches for 2026 up on Eventbrite. So if you're an Eventbrite user, you want to lock in your space at some of these places. And we don't necessarily take RSVPs for our free events, but sometimes we do have some limited space. So, for example, at the Rockford Link lunch, January 9th, we really only have room for about 30 people. So it'd be nice to try to make sure we know who those 20 to 30 people are before we get to Rockford Link lunch, the second Friday of every month. That's now all up on Eventbrite. And any other quick shout outs before I get to this wrapped event thing here? I don't think so. Had a good real estate week. Got a couple of buyers under contract in the last week. Had a closing for some sellers this week. So wrapping up the year. Thanks to everybody who helped me in my real estate business this year, because my goal was fairly modest, I thought, and we just barely got over the edge of it. So I did one more transaction than the goal I had set for the year. So thank you to everybody who sent referrals my way. That was very special.
So you sold 2 houses.
Hey, you know it. So yeah, it was good. This year, my goal honestly was just to do one a month. I really wanted to have 12 transactions this year. And on Friday was number 13. So thank you, everybody.
Lucky number 13. You know what? One a month is a wonderful goal because it means that's your monthly paycheck right there.
Pretty much. That's right.
Yeah, no, that's a very good goal.
All right. So for those who haven't seen this yet, our Spotify Wrapped for the INCROWD815 podcast says it was quite a year for you, INCROWD815. And here's a little proof that hard work pays off. Total audience increased by 100%. That's pretty darn good right there. That makes it feel
We doubled our audience.
And total new audience, 999%. I don't even know what this means. I just know that's a big number, and I'm happy about it, Tom.
Our total new audience is 10 times what it was.
There you go. Our total number of followers increased by 62% in the last year, and increase in total listening time from a year ago. Now, this is one that really does feel good. 72% more listening time to the podcast this year compared to last year. So that does feel like good. This year, one episode rose above the rest. According to Spotify, our most listened to episode was number 257 when we had Josh Garcia on from the State Line Disc Golf Association. It was played 198% more than our average episode. So kudos to SDGA for bringing the audience to the INCROWD815 podcast. Let's talk video. Spoiler alert, your fans couldn't look away. Our show is in the top 20% of videos on Spotify, and we're watched 86% more this year than last year, which of course accounts for that 72% increase in viewing time and listening and watching time. Listening passport. This is kind of silly because it really doesn't matter because we're such a local podcast, but apparently we show up in Lithuania, the Philippines, Costa Rica, and Canada, besides here in the United States.
Canada, eh?
Hey, welcome. We're a top 10 show for 81 of our fans on Spotify. We're a top 5 show for 67 fans. I'd like to meet you 67 fans that call us a top 5.
Yeah, let's do lunch. Greg's buying.
Let's do lunch. And the number one show, the number one show for 39 fans, and those 39 fans, I think I would buy lunch for right there. Those are the ones.
Wow, might have to do buffet style.
Yeah, might have to do the family thing at Machine Shed. That might be the way to go.
You know what we could do? We could invite them all to Louis. We could basically run out the joint.
There we go. Our fans streamed 1.5 times more. Our top fans did 1.5 times more than anybody else, which makes sense. 5% binge on 2 episodes or more in one day, and 10% hit play within 24 hours of a new episode drop. And our new episodes drop every Saturday before noon. So within 24 hours of a Saturday morning episode drop, someone is spending their weekend. Some people are spending their weekend listening to the INCROWD815 podcast. That's awesome. Thank you for that. Our fans listen to Morgan Wallen and someone named Taylor Swift. I don't know who that is. Zach, Drake, Coldplay. They also listen to audiobooks. I can't say that I've read any of those books. Sorry. Top other podcasts: Joe Rogan, Pardon My Take, Crime Junkie, Armchair Expert with Dax Shepard. That sounds like a fun one. And a Painkiller already. I don't know what that is. I haven't even looked that one up yet, so I'm not even sure what that is. But that's what our fans double up on. All right. We are at 2. Here we go, Tom. Put this on the mantle. Print screen. 2025 Rising Star. This year, your show's growth outpaced 80% of other shows. Fans listened to us for longer than 76% of other shows. Of course, we're an hour plus long show. We're not just a 10 or 15 minute show. So maybe that helps to that. And we're a most shared show. We receive the most shares, more than 95%. That's a pretty big stat right there. More than
that is
more show. More
that shares. Means audience participation right there.
I don't think I can emphasize this enough to the fans of the show. Liking and sharing and leaving that review on Spotify is huge. The algorithm. You hear this word algorithm thrown around a lot, and the stuff that you are seeing on Instagram and Facebook is greatly influenced by what you click on and what you spend time on your screen actually looking at, right? So the other thing that makes a big difference with what you see on your screen, on your feed, is your likes and shares. So when you see an episode that you liked, or there's a guest on that you really want to support their not-for-profit, please, 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 just a quick share on your Facebook or on your Instagram goes a long, long, long way to keeping this show in people's sphere, in their mind and in their feed. And that makes a big, big difference for what we do. So there you go. That's your wrapped for this year. And the next screen I want to take you to is, let me see if I can load all 50 episodes from this year. I think it's doing it in order for me, but I didn't realize it was going to be a little bit slow to the take here. It only loads a few at a time. On Spotify, when we upload our show to Spotify, that's the place that I think is the best place to actually go and watch our show. YouTube is fine, but once you walk away from YouTube, or if you shut your screen shuts off, unless you have a subscription, it shuts off. So Spotify is a place where you can start the show and you can turn your screen off and just keep listening to it. We're more or less an audio show anyway. The videos is just the videos, but yeah, I would say please check us out on Spotify. Please follow us on Spotify and leave us that 5-star review on Spotify. If there's only one place for you, please let it be that. That would be awesome. All right. Did I say happy birthday to Dad yet? Happy birthday, Dad. My dad is 79 today. Happy birthday, Dad. A memory came up of 3 years ago when I took him to the Monday Night Football game when the Packers beat the Rams in a cold Monday Night Football game 3 years ago. When it looked like
How do I not remember that?
It looked like the Packers might just make a good playoff run the last year with I think it was the last year with Aaron Rodgers.
Well, 3 years ago would have been, so yeah, 2022, I guess.
2022. Anyway, happy birthday, Dad.
Well, this is Jordan Love's third year, so 3 years ago.
So there's one more year.
I don't know.
One more year with Aaron. All right, so we started. Here's our recap of all of our episodes. We started January off with episode 248. We talked with Paul from Shelter Care Ministries, and then we went on to one of the other announcements I had for this week was the fact that we have broken the 100 mark, Tom. I've been telling people that we're in the 90 range of how many not-for-profits we've had on the show. We are now officially at 103.
Nice.
We have had 103 of our local not-for-profits that have been on the podcast. Now, we have 197 registered not-for-profits here. I think this is according to NICNE, the Northern Illinois Center for Nonprofit Excellence, and the county. I believe there's 197 registered not-for-profits here in the 815 area. So we're over halfway to having all of them on the show at least one time to tell their story, why they do what they do, and what kind of support we can give them to help them continue to do what they do. 103 local not-for-profits have been on the podcast, and I'll get into some of these other stats in a little bit. But Ski Bronx, Women's Space, NAMI, Midway Village, and Paws, which, by the way, the Paws Humane Society, their fur ball this year is in March. They're not doing the February thing this year. I believe it's March 7th, but don't quote me on that for sure. It's in March. It's not in February this year.
Oh, okay.
The Tadmore Sustainability Institute, Epilepsy Advocacy Network, and then our episode 254, we had Dr. Oates on. He's the one that ended up winning the Excalibur Award this year from the Register Star and the Community Foundation of Northern Illinois. Dr. Cyrus Oates, your 2025 Excalibur winner, was on a podcast, episode 254, back in February, to talk about what he was doing, the years that he spent servicing our Rockford Public School youth with free dental care and how we wanted to enlarge that care and expand that care by having a center built, I should say, just retrofitted into the old Stenstrom Center down there by Jefferson High School. And they did a soft opening.
Oh, yeah.
They did their soft opening last week. So they are technically open. And he's setting this up for success so that it can run long after he's gone. You know, he's setting up a legacy thing here. So I'm big time kudos to what Dr. Cyrus Oates is doing with 205 DDS, direct dental service. It's awesome. It's really, really awesome. Kudos for what he's doing. Inscape Collective, the DBN Foundation, and Made for Rockford. That was one of our top episodes of the year, episode 256, when we talked with Matt from DBN and with Whitney Martin from Made for Rockford. As I mentioned, episode 257, the State Line Disc Golf Association looks like one of our top listened to shows, or at least shared shows of all the year. The Kiwanis Club of Rockford. Oh, you know what that means?
What's that?
I got to double check this. Okay, they're on the list. I had to double check because I know, because there's a Kiwanis Club of Rockford and there's Alpine Kiwanis, right? So
yep.
I had to double check and make sure we put both of them on the list because they're two separate organizations. They are both on the list. Assisting Hands Home Care, Wesley Willows, Mother's Love, Tinker Swiss Cottage Museum, Carpenter's Place, Safe Families for Children, Camp IME, the Center for Sight and Hearing, Rockford Robotics, Laurent House, Marshmallows Hope, Rosie's Birthday Club. There's the Alpine Kiwanis, our friend at Boone County Jiu-Jitsu, Gemini Solar, the RVCU, Tails Humane Society, Lifescape Services, Blue 815, Bravehearts, which, by the way, if you're following us along on Facebook, you saw we posted Bravehearts Therapeutic Riding has a special volunteer day event coming up this Tuesday. They could use your help out at their Poplar Grove location. If you've never been out there, it is such a beautiful facility. If you've ever driven out to Edwards Apple Orchard, Edwards East, you've driven by probably Bravehearts Therapeutic Riding Center out there. It's just a gorgeous, beautiful place. If you're available on Tuesday, go help them out. Check out their website, check out their Facebook feed, and let them know you're coming. They will have a photo op thing going on there too, so you can post some photos about what's going on out there. And then they also have a photo contest running till the end of the year, and I believe they're giving away some prizes. So check out Bravehearts Therapeutic Riding, their special end of the year stuff that they got coming up this Tuesday, and then the photo contest, which runs till the 31st. Sustain Rockford, Comprehensive Community Solutions, Veterans Smile, Keep Northern Illinois Beautiful, Rockford Habitat for Humanity, and our friends at Mactown Construction there, the Byron Civic Theater, Boone County Fair. Tom came on and told Ratcliffe came on and told us all about the Boone County Fair stuff for the season. Life Decisions, the YMCA Camp Hope, Special Olympics, which has some special stuff coming up, including their Polar Plunge. The Polar Plunge for Special Olympics is out at Pierce Lake, right? I believe it's Pierce Lake.
I don't do cold water.
It's also in March. So yeah, I'm toying with the idea of doing that. Susan Coburn, who is on with us, Coburn, she's encouraging me to participate this year. I might just donate, Susan. I might not participate other than just a small donation. But I'm not ruling it out yet. We'll see. Growth Dimensions, the Tommy Corral Memorial Foundation, TCMF, our friends at Barnstormer Distillery, Rockford BMX, Rock River Valley Blood Center. Maggie is doing awesome work on their social media posts and promoting giving blood at the Rock River Valley Blood Center. Kudos to what Maggie's doing over there. If you can donate before the end of the year, help them out. It's always slower in the wintertime for them. The Superhero Center for Autism, our buddy Mark Henderson and Mark Henderson's Weather Hub, which he just had an announcement this week that, I don't know if you saw this or not, Tom, but he just accepted a position as a community development director for Rockton, the village of Rockton. So
Nice.
we'll have him back on to talk about that once he gets up to speed in his new role. He's going to continue doing Mark Henderson's Weather Hub because he obviously loves being a weatherman, and he's doing so great. People, it seems like every time he posts a weather update on his Facebook feed there, he gets a couple hundred, if not a few hundred likes and shares and dozens of comments, people thanking him for what he's doing and really appreciating the work that he's doing to continue to inform us on the weather on a timely schedule. He's doing a great job on the Facebook, and he's got a YouTube channel too. Mosaic in Rockford, they have a new community relations manager. We met Jackie Corsi this year. The Haven Network, our buddy Michael from Wholesale Payments, Midway Village Museum, Rosecrans. We had Shannon on for a show. We met Julie from the Nature at the Confluence. Talked to the boys from Anavox. I said boys. You're the boys. Still for me, boys. Sunset Memorial Gardens and the DBN Foundation on episode 287. Golden Apple Foundation. AED Rescue Connect and the stuff that Jacob is doing, which was very interesting as well. The ARC of Winnebago, Boone, and Ogle counties. Our in-crowd events show 291. We talked with Tracey Fults at Medicare 411 and the $5,000 grand prize that we gave away for the November 13th Mass Karaoke Trivia Contest. Another real popular show this year when we met Eric Fish from the Fish Abled Foundation. Very well liked and shared show. Thanks everybody for that. Our Mass Karaoke Trivia Contest recap show was episode 293. Woman's Space of Rockford, Sports Illustrated Packers writer Jacob Westendorf, Lifescape Community Services, and then Veterans Memorial Hall and GABA A Alliance last week. So there's your rundown of all the shows from 2025. And I asked AI to do some work for me. Let's see if this actually did any goodness. Let's see if they did a decent job. I asked AI to give me a recap of the year, and this is what it gave me. It says, as we approach the 300th episode milestone, which will be January 4th, by the way, 2025 stands out as the year INCROWD815 became more than a podcast. It became a community movement spanning episodes 248 to 297. This year showcased the relentless spirit of the Rockford region. Greg and Tom have consistently used their platform to bridge the gap between high-level professional networking and grassroots community support. Pretty good paragraph one there, AI. This year was characterized by action-based networking beyond the studio. The INCROWD815 networking group took over venues like the Ross Pearson DFW, Tabala Event Center, and local businesses to turn podcast conversations into real-world connections. On Facebook and Instagram, followers saw a constant stream of giving back moments, most notably the Mass Karaoke Trivia Contest, which saw a staggering $5,000 donation to Marshmallow's Hope from Medicare 411. Major theme throughout these past 50 episodes was regional legacy, whether it was visiting the curator at Veterans Memorial Hall to preserve our veterans' stories or celebrating the Golden Apple Foundation. Greg and Tom focused on the institutions that provide the foundation for the state line's future. These episodes served as a bridge between the city's rich history and its modern professional evolution. One of the most high-octane moments of the year was the Mass Karaoke Trivia Contest recap, episode 293. This event was a masterclass in fundraising, resulting in massive wins for local charities, a $5,000 grand prize going to Marshmallow's Hope, and additional wins for Nick's Wish and Ramp. The podcast proved that the INCROWD815 audience doesn't just listen, they show up and they give back. Boom. Love that. As the show approaches the 300 episode mark, the diversity of topics has expanded even further, exploring everything from specialized healthcare with the GABA A Alliance to regional heritage and even sports media. This variety ensured that the InCrowd wasn't just a business circle, but a cross-section of everyone making a difference in the 815. So I asked it also to give me the top 5 most listened to episodes. And because I didn't tell it to only look at Spotify, it didn't give me the same Spotify list we just looked at. according to AI's look at the most listened to episodes. So I'm assuming that means it looked at YouTube and Facebook and Rumble and X and LinkedIn.
Well, wouldn't that include like Joe Rogan's podcast?
Yeah. So the top 5 most listened to episodes of the INCROWD815 podcast this year, their number 5 was Woman Space, episode 294, which focused on mental health and creativity.
A couple of weeks ago.
Episode 296, Lifescape Community Services, a cornerstone of elder care. Saw a surge of listeners from community members looking for ways to volunteer and support Rockford seniors. Number 3, the Fish Abled Foundation, episode 292. We met Eric Fish and his mission to make the outdoors more accessible.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, when we had Mactown Construction on, episode 248, right at the beginning of the year. According to AI, it says this episode struck a chord with the local workforce. Cassie Bonnet's insights to the construction boom in the 815 provided a roadmap for how local trades are evolving and hiring. And then the number 1 show, according to AI, was episode 293, our recap of the Mass Karaoke Trivia Contest, by far the most shared episode of the year. Listeners tuned in to hear the final results of the competition and how Marshmallows Hope won the grand prize. So
well, awesome stuff. If I may deviate for just 1 second, I told you before, I watch a lot of podcasts, and I'm a huge fan of a guy named Peter Bukowski. He does the Locked On Packers podcast.
He does.
And what's that?
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does. He's very good. Very good. I strongly encourage you to watch the Locked On Packers. I get it on YouTube podcast. Anyways, Vedacam alive and well.
Veda's back. Vedacam.
All right. Well, Jake Westendorf was on the other day, and he was on something called The Squad Show. It's Peter Bukowski, it's Brandon Snide, and Coach Jeff Jagodzinski. They call him Coach Jags. But Brandon Snide was not there, so Peter was handling it, and it's The Squad Show. So you'd go to NFL Locked On NFL Squad Show.
Mm-hmm.
And Jake Westendorf was on. It's an hour-long podcast, and it was very good. I watched it. So I watch it every week.
The Locked On Network is pretty impressive. They got a Locked On podcast for every one of the teams. So if you want to learn more about, your favorite team and your second favorite team or your third favorite team, you can find a Locked On podcast all about them.
You could do Locked On Jacksonville Jaguars. You could do Locked On Cincinnati Bengals. And you could do Locked On Pittsburgh Penguins if you want, because they have Locked On Hockey. They have Locked On everything. The Locked On Network is huge, and it is the number 1 podcast, sports-related podcast overall.
Well,
it is the number 1.
You and I both have given a lot of kudos to Peter Bukowski. He does a great job on his show. And, of course, having Jake Westendorf on our program has been a lot of fun over the last years.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So really appreciate what he's doing.
I would strongly encourage you and listeners, if you would like, go look at this week's. It was Friday's episode. You'll find it. You just have to type in Locked On Packers and then the date, Friday the 19th, 12/19. And it really told the story. It was Cody something or other, like Cody Anderson or something was his guest. And it gave an insight. Basically, it encouraged me big time as to how the Packers can win and why they think the Packers will win. And this isn't just smoke and mirrors.
No.
This is legitimate. Without Micah Parsons, and I know we're not getting into Packer talk yet, but I just want to say this one thing. Without Micah Parsons, it makes this team different, not better. It makes it different. It means other guys have to step up and fill the gaps.
Right.
And their athleticism can shine through. Remember, we didn't have Micah Parsons last year. We didn't have Micah Parsons in 2023. This has been the icing on the cake. Well, now the cake is bare. It's okay. It's still cake. So
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
It's still cake, and they were still one of the top picked teams at the beginning of the season before the Micah Parsons.
That's right. That's right. We were still picked to at least go to the Super Bowl. And I really do believe if we win tonight, we are going to win the division, which will put us in second place overall, which means the Rams or the Seahawks. At this point, it's the Seahawks because they won an
Did you
absolute
see that
barn
game
burner of
Thursday
game.
night?
Oh, I did.
Did you? Oh, we
That
were
was
watching the end of the game,
crazy.
and it's like, oh man, they're going to push this to overtime. Awesome. And then they went for 2 in overtime and got it. It was amazing.
Yeah, that was a bold move. I loved it. I loved it.
I-
As a football fan, that's the way it's supposed to be. I
yeah.
love it. So anyway, the Green Bay should be the number 2 overall, and there's still an outside chance they can take the number 1, but I don't see it now. Not losing to Denver, and that game, don't even get me started on that one.
No.
Maybe we could talk about that after when we're talking Packers. But anyway.
So as far as some other shout outs today, some of the number ones for our season here of INCROWD815 podcasting, our number one most attended networking group event this year. The actual, when we do our last Thursday of the month, January through October, we meet at a different location last Thursday of the month. And by at least probably a half dozen people or so, I think, our most attended networking group event this year has to go to Angela Larsen over there at Sunset Funeral Home and Gardens. She hosted our last one in October. And I know a lot of people were thinking, you're having a networking group meeting at a funeral home? Is that a good idea? It was a great idea. It was wonderful. They have a wonderful facility there. And I'm sure anyone in the 815 that's lived in the 815 for any length of time has driven by Sunset Memorial Gardens or Sunset Funeral Home. And it's hard to miss it there on Forest Hills. It is did I say
Alpine.
On Alpine.
On Alpine. Yeah.
It's on Alpine. Yeah. Anyway, it's hard to miss because it's a pretty big plot there, and it's beautiful. It's very well kept. It's just a really beautiful facility. So we not only got to do our networking group inside their facility, but we had a hayride around the cemetery to kind of talk about the different areas and the meanings behind some of their special areas where people have been laid to rest and their mausoleums and such. So it was a very informative, wonderful evening. Angela Larsen, kudos to you for doing it so well. I had an idea, and I hope I can make this happen in 2026. I want to have some of our top hosts on the show that have hosted our events in the past to tell people what they did and how they put together such a popular, well-attended event. Because we've had some great events the last couple of years, and it's not just about the number of people that show up. That's not, having the biggest event is nice and all, but obviously there's more to it than just having a lot of people show up. It's helping people interact, doing something that gives people a space to learn about each other, having some decent hors d'oeuvres and beverages and stuff like that. To make that all happen, there's a lot of behind the scenes work to make an event like that happen. And I don't know that a lot of people grasp the effort it takes to put on these events every month to have them really successful. So Angela is one that had just a great event this year. And I'm hoping to put that together at some point in 2026 to have like a little round table of people on the show to talk about what they did and how they did it and that sort of thing. So
she's got a really good voice too. She sang it.
She does.
What did she sing? God bless America. God bless the USA, I think.
God bless the USA. She did Lee Greenwood, and
yeah,
it was
knocked it out of the park.
Great way to start. She was the first one, right? Wasn't she
was
first? She went first, and her daughter was playing on another team, and her daughter went last.
Oh, that's funny. Why were they not playing on the same team?
Because her daughter already committed to play on another team. And she was the singer, the designated singer for the other team. So she's like, I can't leave this team. They need me to sing.
Yeah.
Our number one fan of this year has to be Linda Wennmacher. Linda. She has been an amazing supporter of INCROWD815 from the beginning. And the former executive director of Mosaic. She's doing something else now, but really, really appreciate all that Linda has done to help promote what we're doing here at INCROWD815. And our number one supporter of the year has got to go to Tracey Fults at Medicare 411, coming forward to help make There you are. Medicare 411 helped to make our Mass Karaoke Trivia Contest the success that it has become is in super large part because of her. And we have already talked about what 2026 is going to be like. And we're planning on 2 big events again for Mass Karaoke Trivia Contest. So details coming soon. The top 10 guests of the year, again, according to AI. I don't know how it figured this one out, but here we go. Let's see. Can I put this on the screen? I don't know if I think I can put this on the screen. See how this looks. It looks okay. It's not fancy, but it's on there. Top 10 guests of 2025, according to AI. Number 10, Mike Fredrickson, who was just on from the Memorial Hall. see, this is where I'm not sure, because a lot of these are mostly the last few episodes. Number 9, Holly Depew from Lifescape Community Services. Number 8, Miranda Cox, who was also on just last week, episode 297 from the GABA A Alliance. Number 7, Denise Cullen from the Women's Space of Rockford, episode 294. Eric Fish, 292, the executive director of the Fish-Abled Foundation. Number 5, Jacob Westendorf, Sports Illustrated Packers writer. Number 4, Charity Champions Recap, our Mass Karaoke Trivia Contest recap show. Marshmallows, Hope, Nick's Wish, and Ramp. See, that really wasn't a guest. That was just a show. So I don't know what AI is doing there. Our DBN Foundation, Made for Rockford movement. So that also include Whitney Martin. Number 2, the Belvedere VFW Spotlight. We did episode 272, Elizabeth Costa and Rob Bland. And number 1, Cassie Bonnet for episode 248, Backdown Construction. I don't know what criteria AI used for that list, but I wanted to give them all a shout out anyway, because we had some great guests on this year. And that was pretty awesome. And then finally, I asked AI to give us the top 10 quotes from the last 50 episodes, from episode 248 to 297. And this is what it gave me for the top 10 quotes. Let's see if these are actual quotes that were on the show, Tom, and if we remember saying them. This is going to be the chance. Did you say it? Did I say it? Or did a guest say it? Maybe that's the game. You ready?
Okay.
All right. The INCROWD815 podcast, hosted by Greg Saunders and Tom Warner, is a cornerstone of the Rockford, Illinois community, formerly known as the Saturday Morning State Line Show. It focuses on local nonprofits, difference makers, and small businesses. Over the last 50 episodes, the show's evolved into a high-energy platform for advocacy and networking. Here are the top 10 quotes from Greg, Tom, and their guests. At number 10, I don't care what the big news says. The biggest news in town is who's helping who at the food pantry this week. I think a guest said that. I don't remember which guest, but I think the guest that was talking about the Northern Illinois Food Bank, the food pantry here, I think a guest said that. Number 9, if you can survive a Rockford winter and a round of Tom's Trivia, you can survive anything the world throws at you.
There you go.
I may have said that. I may have actually said that. Number 8, success in the state line is measured by the length of your table, not the height of your fence.
I like that.
That's a nice quote. And I think a guest actually said that. Don't ask me which. It didn't tell me what episode these came from. I wish it would have. But number 7, we're big enough to matter, but small enough that your reputation still means everything. And that was said by that guy right over there. That's a Tom Warner quote. We're Rockford.
I'm smarter than I thought.
We're big enough to matter, small enough that your reputation still means everything. I think you said that when we had Whitney Martin on with Made for Rockford.
Okay. All right.
Made for Rockford. I'm pretty sure that's the episode that was set on. Number 6, the best way to cure a bad day in your own life is to go volunteer for someone else's mission. One of our guests said that. I don't remember.
I do remember that.
I think it was the Golden Apple Foundation when we were talking about Golden Apple Foundation, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. Correct me in the comments if you can remember. All right, now we're into the top 5. Top 5 quotes. The top 5 quotes of 2025 right here on the INCROWD815 podcast. Number 5. In the 815, neighbor is a verb. It's something you do, not just someone you live next to.
Very good.
I want to say a guest said that. I want to say, I want to say when we had Sustain Rockford on, Kevin Haas's dad. Why can't I think of his first name? Walt Haas. Is it Walter Haas? I forget what his first name is.
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
Sustain Rockford when he was on back in July. I think that's who said that one. Number 4, if you have a platform and you aren't using it to lift up a nonprofit, you're wasting airtime. It says I said that when I was talking about the shift from traditional radio to community focused podcasting. Maybe I did. I don't remember saying it that harshly, but
I don't think it was harsh. I think it's just true, you know.
Yeah.
If you don't use the gifts that God gives you, then you are wasting your time.
I know a couple different times this year we've talked a little bit about that transition from traditional terrestrial radio to the podcast thing, and the difference that made in our lives, things that made it easier, things that made it more challenging.
Well, that comment in a nutshell can be translated to life in general.
Yeah.
If you have any kind of a talent and you don't use it for good, or worse yet, if you use it for bad, let's say you're a really good mathematician, but you figured out a way to crack the code at a bank and siphon a bunch of money off. Well, you're using your talent for bad. But if you figure out how to crack the code and find a cure for something, you're using it for good. There's the delineation. There's your line right there. It's what you do with what you have that makes the biggest difference.
Absolutely.
You know, and if you're using it for bad, well, then you are bad, and you are not using your gifts for good.
Yeah.
So basically, that's,
and we,
in a nutshell, that's what it is for me.
And obviously, what we've chosen to focus on is our local not-for-profits, because generally speaking, the people involved with the people that founded these not-for-profits are some of the kindest, most generous, thoughtful people you'll ever meet.
Yep.
And that's they deserve a spotlight shown on them. And most of them aren't asking for the spotlight to be shown on them. They just want to get good work done and do good things for good people, for all people. And that's what we're doing. So, and that's what's going to make, I'll say this here too. This is a good point to say this. Good time to say this. This is what's going to make getting the next 94 guests on this show difficult. When people ask me what we do with the podcast, and I tell them our goal of having all 197 registered local not-for-profits on the show at least once, and they kind of usually give me a little bit of a look like, wow, that's a big audacious goal. And then up until a week ago, I've been telling them, we've had over 90. Now I can say we've had over 100. And when we talk a little bit, we're up to 103. And when we talk a little bit more, and I ask them for their help, what I'll say is, don't take this the wrong way, but we've already had the low-hanging fruit on the show. The most active not-for-profits that have annual fundraisers, annual events, annual volunteer kickoff things. Those are the easy ones to get because they're already trying to promote their events. They have a thing. And a lot of these not-for-profits don't necessarily have that thing. They're doing good work, but they might not have an annual fundraiser, an annual golf day, an annual whatever, So where we need help now is for those who are connected to the not-for-profits who maybe don't have that spokesperson that's active in the community, networking, an event coordinator that's putting things on. They might not have that person, but there's still a founder, or there's still someone who's acting as founder who would be okay with coming on a podcast and telling their story. That's what we're after. Why was a not-for-profit formed in the first place? What are you doing now? How can the community help you? That's it. That's really basically it. What was the vision? Why you started in the first place? Has it morphed from when you first started? Because a lot of them have, they started in one direction and then they're like, okay, either that need was met or that need wasn't as big as we thought it was. And they change into something else, or sometimes they dissolve. Some not-for-profits go away, like the Winnebago Buy Local group that was a not-for-profit for 12, 13 years. They served a purpose for a good long time, and then they dissolved and went away. What's the other one that just went away? Outside 815, I think, was one that just recently. Yeah, there was a group that met at least once a month, sometimes a few times a month, especially over the good weather months, to go out and hike in areas and meet up around Rockford and hike together and walk together. I understand they recently dissolved. So there will be new ones that form too. So we're looking for those people. So if you can help us out, if you're a helper here on the 815 and you're looking for a way to help out our INCROWD 815 podcast, help us connect with those not-for-profits that maybe are a little under the radar. They're a little under our radar anyway. We're looking for them. We're seeking them out. Yeah, I got one in front of me here that we're going to have on. That is a guy has a roofing company that has a not-for-profit that is a smaller thing that I'd never really heard of before. We're going to have him on here in the next month or two. So I'm seeking those guys out. Help us out with that. All right. We're up to the top 3 quotes of the last 50 episodes of the INCROWD 815 podcast. Number 3, we aren't just talking about Rockford. We are actively building the version of Rockford we want to live in. I think that was a Whitney Martin quote from the Made for Rockford episode, if I remember correctly.
Probably.
I think. Number 2, it's not just a podcast. It's a movement to highlight the hearts that make the 815 beat. I don't remember ever saying that. I don't think you ever said that.
No, it's way above my pay grade.
It's not just a podcast. It's a movement to highlight the hearts that make the 815 beat. I like the quote. I don't know who to attribute it to.
It sounds like it should be on a shirt.
Hey, put it on the back of this one. I got some white.
Yeah, there you go.
One. And finally, number 1, you all know this one, and we'd say it together at the end of every show. You change the world when you help one person. Be a blessing to someone today. Greg Saunders, signature signed off, and foundational philosophy of our show. And then it wraps up by saying the social media buzz in 2025 was dominated by INCROWD 815's monthly mixers, while Instagram showcased the unfiltered fun of the special events, most notably the Mass Karaoke Trivia Contest. The synergy between the podcast and the networking group has turned INCROWD 815 into a true community engine. As we head toward episode 300, which will be January 4th, the momentum is undeniable. We're celebrating the people who make Rockford a better place to live, work, volunteer, and play, one episode at a time. So thank you, AI, for doing a pretty decent job of summing things up. We are up to 103 local not-for-profits that have been on the podcast. We did 5 special events this year, 2 Mass Karaoke Trivia Contests. We had a big timber axe throwing competition fundraiser back in July. We had a Rockford Rivets game, and we did a blood drive with the Rock River Valley Blood Center in August. So those were our 4 special events and 1 kind of a special promotion with the Blood Center. And of course we had 10 networking groups, 10 networking group events, but one of those was a little bit different. We had 9 meeting hosts. And then the one month we did a NAMI Trivia Night support for their March event at the Park Lanes.
Park Lanes, yeah. By the way, we have that coming up again. Danielle and I were talking, and she wants to do the January, February, March thing again.
Awesome.
So we're going to have, it seemed to work out really well. So we're going to do that again. And it's, it means I got to get going on my trivia quiz.
Did she say if there was going to be the last Thursday of the month, all 3 months?
It should be.
Okay.
That's the only time I can do it.
Okay. All right. So
why don't you incorporate your INCROWD, our INCROWD 815 event on the Thursday at Park Lanes?
Well,
and everybody there plays trivia.
we do already have hosts for those 3 months.
Yeah.
Because January we're going to be at Lucha Cantina. February we're going to be at PC Tech to You, and March we are at the YMCA's what's it called? The the center.
I don't know, but it's fun to stay at it.
Oh gosh, where'd you go? Where'd you go? I want to view it. There's a name for it, and I want to get it right. And I can't find it now. The host is Gemini Solar, but we're going to be at the center, the YMCA new center on 200 Y Boulevard. And the name of it is totally escaping me right now, which I apologize for that.
It's not the Puri Center, is it?
No, it's
because they've got the one out there on Perryville and Newburgh.
I got all this stuff here. The question is, do I have that form? Oh, the Excel Center. It's called the Excel Center.
Okay, good.
So we'll be at the Excel Center at the Y in March. So anyway, follow us along on Eventbrite and Facebook and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, so we should think about having Danielle come on probably in the next few weeks.
If she's,
I'll talk to her, or you can text her.
Let's get her on. So anyway, 50 episodes in 2025. We have one more next week. Actually, we're going to be talking with another new one that we haven't had on before. The founder of Shevets, 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 Nancy Clark, and obviously, if it is what you think it is, it's veterans who are women who have a not-for-profit here in the 815 area. So we're going to talk to Nancy Clark about that next week. Here on the show, I think that covers the recap. I think that covers it, Tom. Anything else that you think I'm missing?
No. My memory only lasts about 2 or 3 weeks, so I'm good.
If I copy the link to the podcast, again, we really would love to have you follow us on Spotify. So we're going to put the Spotify link in the chat. So Rumble, Facebook, and YouTube, you should be able to see that on there. It's a bit of a long link, so it doesn't really help me to say it. It doesn't give me an abbreviated, easy link to share. It's a long link. So it's in the chat. It looks like this. And that's why I'm not saying what it is, because no one's writing that down. You're copying and pasting that thing, everybody.
Or just click on it.
Yeah, if you're on those platforms. All right. I think that's everything, buddy. Before we talk Packer football, let's do our big number of the week. What do you say?
Sounds good.
All right. Big number of the week before we get to our Packers talk. Five to 4, the current score. Tom 1 point in the lead, and our big number of the week this week is 38. Is the answer gingerbread or game? And you sent me your answer. And if you had to guess what the most sought after toy of the season was, you'd probably be wrong. Odds are you've never heard of it, and I never heard of it until this morning. Some industry experts hadn't even heard of this game until last month when it became a Black Friday hit. It outsold Xbox. It blew up on TikTok in the TikTok shop and was number 1 in Amazon's toys and games category, according to the Wall Street Journal. The toy is called Next Playground. It's a $249 motion-based gaming console for kids. It looks a little bit like a Rubik's Cube. It has a camera on it, and they have quadrupled their sales this year compared to last year. And I'm going to show this to you because I'm interested to see what it looks like too. Here's the Next Playground. And yeah, it does kind of look a little bit like a Rubik's Cube, doesn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
Little Rubik's Cube-ish. Next Playground, $249. What's included? Everything you need to get moving in minutes. Privacy cover, remote control. Families everywhere are loving it. A lot of good reviews. I purchased the Christmas of 2024. Has been my son's favorite gift. They play it regularly together and individually. Having it has replaced screen time on handheld electronics. It's fun, simple to use, and great for all ages. Good review. There's a 2-star review. I bought it last week. Love the idea. It does that. It has a hard time staying tracked to the kids' movements. Okay. She says the cost doesn't align with the quality. Would be more appropriate in the $50 to $100 price range. Okay. Well, maybe maybe they'll improve it. I don't know. So there's the big hit. It looks kind of like a Wii situation because they've got it on the
right. Yeah.
forming in front of it. If Bluey and Barbie and Elmo are part of your game package, I mean, that's going to make it pretty popular, right? Bunch of starter games, 5 free starter games, including Fruit Ninja. It kind of, it looks like the newest version of a Wii. So there's your big game for 2025. Next Playground. And that's the first I heard of it was this morning. I had never heard of it before.
It looks interesting. I like compact, colorful, whatever.
I'm ready to try it. I'm going to take the point though. The cookie most purchased across 38 states, according to Target's nationwide sales data collected between November 1st and December 6th, is the gingerbread cookie.
Is that like for only the month of December or all year round? Because that can't be true for all year round. This Oreo's the #1 cookie.
Right. The company has dubbed gingerbread the country's favorite holiday cookie.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
Holiday cookie. So America has spoken. Gingerbread cookie is king. Would somebody now volunteer to gently go break it to shortbread? That's the quote. So, all right, 5 to 5 as we go into the last week of 2025. And that's our recap for the year. Congratulations. You made it. You made it to the end of 2025. This year has flown by, and the Green Bay Packers are playing the Bears tonight, Tom. This is, I think this is true. I saw this week. This is only the second time in the history of the Bears-Packers rivalry they've played on a Saturday.
Really?
Only the second time. The first time was like 82 years ago or something like that. So
yeah, I wasn't there.
I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Saturday games. Let me see if this comes up here. No, it doesn't automatically come up. But I did hear somebody say, and I might have been one of Westendorf's podcast quotes or whatever, that this is only the second time they've ever played on a Saturday, and I can't find when the first time was. Prior to 2025. See if it comes up. The most recent Bears-Packers Saturday game was in week 16 of the 2024 season. Really?
Okay. That would have been last year?
I thought it was a long time ago. I totally misheard that.
Yeah, that was last year then, and I don't remember them playing on a Saturday last year. Because that was no. Because that was the year, that was the game that the Packers lost on that, I don't know, Cody Parkins field goal, I think it was.
Yeah. Or
maybe it was Cairo Santos. I don't remember. But anyway. And that was a Sunday. I'm pretty sure that was a Sunday.
Yeah. Bears Packers have played several Saturday games before 2025. Late in the season when college football, there was December. Yeah, I don't think this is right. I think AI is getting this one wrong.
Yeah, they do that a lot.
They do that a lot. You got to check. You got to totally check. And my query is probably not that great, but the Packers had the loss wasn't so devastating to Denver as it was the injuries that happened in Denver. Obviously losing Micah Parsons for the rest of the season is going to stink big time. But the Packers were still one of the favorited teams before they acquired Micah Parsons. So the defense, in a lot of cases, and you see this with other teams too, that the NFL football is a little different than basketball, right? You've got 11 guys on the field and not just 5.
Right.
And actually you got 22 because you got totally separate defense and totally separate offensive.
And then you add special teams. There's a reason why you have a 53-man roster, because guys that are playing on special teams, some of those guys aren't even. You leaving? I'll see you later. Sorry, my wife's leaving. Some of those players that play on special teams don't even see the field for offense or defense. They are just special teams. So it is a much bigger undertaking for.
Beta's barking and I want to get my hat.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah. Some of the special teams guys are only special teams guys, and you don't see them playing unless an injury pops up.
Right, exactly. Zane Anderson is one of them. Although you might see some Zane Anderson today. And he's a very good, very talented safety. He's a hard hitter. He plays special teams, and he's very good on special teams. But let me just say this: the Micah Parsons loss is huge, but it's huge because he's a disruptor. But if he's being held every single down, just about, I mean, there's 10 or 12 times you can call holding on Micah, for Micah Parsons,
right,
and being held, and it's not called. So let's take that one out of the mix. Well, now you're probably going to see some more holding calls, because the guys that they have, the Quay Walkers of the world, Edgerrin Cooper, Rashawn Gary, they are very, very fast. Even Tyron Hopper will probably play a little more today, and he's fast as well. Green Bay's greatest strength is that they're fast and they run to the ball. And this is what's going to win or lose this ball game. Normally they say you win it or lose it in the trenches. And that's partially true. You have to have a good line, defense and offense, to hold off the opposing defense so you can pass the ball or to get to the quarterback. But I really do believe this game's going to be won or lost in the middle of the field meaning middle of the play, like in that 10 to 15 yard zone where Chicago loves to camp out. Well, if we don't have Micah Parsons and we're rushing just 4, it means we've got 3 linebackers that are sitting back there monitoring that area. They played some zone. They played more zone defense these last few weeks than normal. They may go back to man this week for a lot of the plays, only because you don't have to worry about the deep threat. You don't have to worry about the deep threat. So that means Xavier McKinney can come up and help out a little bit, because the deep threat is going to be there. The lack of a deep threat is going to be there no matter what, because you got McKinney, because you got Evan Williams back there. This is why teams don't throw long on them. It's why Green Bay is the number 1 defense for not giving up. I don't know how to state it, but for not giving up 10 yards or more, 20 yards or more plays. So they don't give up the big play. Without Micah Parsons, it's going to change the philosophy of the game. It's going to change a lot. But without Micah Parsons, it means other guys have to step up. And I truly, truly believe that they will. And I believe Greg might be frozen, so I'll keep rambling. Anyway, Green Bay's, I saw this the other day on a podcast. In fact, it was last night. I saw the grades for Green Bay versus Chicago. They gave, and this is a Packer fan, they gave Green Bay, they gave them the edge at quarterback, which everybody agrees with. They gave Chicago the edge at running back, which I don't agree with. Only because, except for if Josh Jacobs doesn't play. Greg, you may have been out for a second. I was basically talking about draft grades for offense versus defense for both of the teams. I was watching a podcast last night, and this guy gave Green Bay the edge at quarterback. He gave the Bears the edge at running the running back situation. Fine. If we don't have Josh Jacobs, he didn't give me the edge. He said it was a push. It was a split right down the middle. But if Josh Jacobs plays, then we have the clear edge. They get the edge at tight end. We get the edge at wide receiver. He said he gave it a push, but I disagree with that. We have the edge at wide receiver. Now, the offensive line, I have to give the Bears a slight edge, a very ever so slight edge. Bears offensive line's pretty doggone good. Green Bay's offensive line is very good as long as we have the right combination. And what we had 2 weeks ago against the Bears was the right combination. Last year, Zach Tom goes out. That's okay.
There we
Zach
go.
Tom goes out. You back?
I'm back. I was looking at the Saturday games. I found a good article, Tom.
Okay.
AcmePackingCompany.com.
Justice Mosqueda?
Acme Packaging Company.
No, I know, but was it written by Justice Mosqueda?
John Meerdink.
Okay.
He just released this morning too at 7:30 this morning. So this is a fresh off the presses here article that says the Packers have played 32 games on Saturdays. So 32 times they've played on a Saturday. And as far as days of the week, the Packers have played, Sundays are obviously number one. Counting playoff games, the Packers have played 1,339 games on Sundays. They've played 78 Monday games. They've played 61 Thursday games and 32 Saturday games. They did play a game once on a Wednesday.
I think that was a Christmas Day game.
Never on a Tuesday, but they have played a game on a Wednesday.
Although the NFL has played on a Tuesday.
Yeah. 24-22 win over the Cleveland Browns in 2021. That was on Christmas Day against Baker Mayfield.
Mm-hmm.
Rasul Douglas put the final nail in the coffin, picking off Mayfield at midfield with a
Well, Greg's clearly having some internet difficulties. So for a second, back to what I was saying, head over to the defensive side of the ball. The defensive line, Green Bay has a decided advantage, even without without Devontae Wyatt, who's out for the season, and Micah Parsons out for the season. They still have a decided advantage. And you look back at what Chicago did rushing wise. We held them to 120 yards. That offensive backfield, which was monumental. They did not get a run past 9 yards. It's not even a first down for the entire game. So Green Bay's defensive line. Okay, what's that?
This is the one I actually heard about, Tom.
Okay.
The Bears played the Packers 1964 on a chilly December day at Wrigley Field.
Nice.
The Packers throttled the Bears 17-3. Jim Taylor, Paul Hornung combined for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns on 31 carries. Back in the day when the clock just ran, because they almost always just ran the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Probably was a pretty short game. I bet it was done in 2.5 hours.
Probably sooner than that.
Probably sooner than that, yeah. A lot of the Saturday games that the Packers have played have been in the playoffs, including the Packers' biggest Saturday win, 19.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Probably against the 49ers, if I had to guess. All right, so back to what I was saying, and then we look at safeties and cornerbacks. We still have most of our corners. We still have Xavier McKinney. I think Evan Williams might be out. We still get the edge at the defensive backfield, although he gave it either a push or gave it to the Bears because he said they don't have as many injuries. Nah, forget that. It's about defensive scheme. It's not about injuries. If that were the case, then we'd be out of the playoffs completely because we no longer have the second best defensive player in football. That would be Micah Parsons. Myles Garrett obviously is the best. Guy's got like 21 sacks. He's going to break the record probably tomorrow, and if not tomorrow, the next week. So there's 3 games left. So anyway, so I don't know where Greg is, but we'll just continue talking Packer football. Appreciate everybody sticking around and watching this podcast, and especially this is, as you well know, this is my favorite part of the entire show that we do because I love talking Packer football. I love my Packers. There we go, right there. Super Bowl champions. That's old, obviously. Maybe I can update it for this year. There we go. You're back.
Now we're back.
Any idea what's going on? You got like a mouse chewing your cords or what? And then finally, special teams. Yes, Green Bay does not get the edge with special teams. The Bears play very good special teams. The Packers do not. And the Packers have been killed by special teams the last 4 or 5 years. Rich Bisaccia, yes, he probably should go. I think he's gone after this year, but Matt LaFleur is pretty loyal.
Are we back? Oh, right back. All right, there we go.
Yeah, we're back. I was just talking about, I was finishing up my my assessment of offense, defense, and special teams. And I was ending with this. Rich Bisaccia should probably go at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I think Matt LaFleur is very loyal and doesn't want to fire somebody midstream. Because if you do that anyway, with 3-4 weeks left, you're kind of disrupting things. So let's just go with what we've got.
True.
It was like trying to fire Joe Barry 2 years ago. People were calling for his head on a platter. And even though we showed up big time against the Cowboys in 2023, the best game Jordan Love's ever played, we won it 48-32. For all intents and purposes, it was 48-16. They got 2 garbage touchdowns with 5 minutes left. Joe Barry wasn't able to keep his job. Had we won that San Francisco game the following week and went on to play in the NFC Championship game, which would have been against Detroit, I firmly believe we would have won that and went to the Super Bowl. Then maybe Joe Barry does keep his job. But the fact is he didn't, and we ended up with Jeff Hafley. I'm ecstatic about that. Anyway, your thoughts?
We're really blessed to have Jeff Hafley as our defensive coordinator, and hopefully he sticks around for at least one more season in that role.
I hope he's there for 5 more years.
Yeah, I do too. But I can't imagine he will not be up for some of these head coaching jobs.
They're already talking possibly Giants. There's 5 teams out there that are like,
where does he want to live?
Blood in the water. And I get it.
Live?
I get it. You have a great coordinator. The next logical step, excuse me, next logical step is to go up to the NFL, make the big money, hit the big time. And I'm good with that. I'm good with that because we will recover. There's a lot of good defensive coordinators out there. The one I'm worried about though is replacing Rich Bisaccia with a good special teams coordinator. And I really truly believe that Matt LaFleur, I've said it several times on this podcast all year long. We need to get rid of him, need to get rid of him, need to get rid of him. The reason I said that is for the same reason that everybody else is saying it, because his offensive play calling was very vanilla. Run Jacobs, 2 yards, run Jacobs, 4 yards, and then a quick screen pass. We became the number 1 team on 3rd down because we kept getting to 3rd down, and it was usually 3rd and short because Jacobs would run for 3 yards and then another 3 or 4 yards, and we're at a 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 3. That's fairly easy to convert because you have RPO options, run pass option, where Jordan Love can just sit back there, and if he sees an opening, he can run for a quick hitter, or he can throw the ball down to a Tucker Kraft or to a Matthew Golden running across so I mean, there were so many options, and that's why we're so good on 3rd down. Well, that's not changing. We're still really good on 3rd down, and that's partly due to Josh Jacobs being a very good back, one of the top 3 backs in the NFL. So aside from that, he may not even play today, but you've got Emmanuel Wilson. Emmanuel Wilson last week, we watched the game together, was sick. He was throwing up before the game. And he's no Michael Jordan, so it's not like he's going to pour in 38 points and get 14 rebounds and 12 assists. Michael Jordan had an unbelievable game. Well, Emmanuel Wilson's not Michael Jordan, so but this week he's healthy and he's good to go. And Chris Brooks is a very good running back. And we got somebody else that we brought up from the practice squad. His name is not Marshawn Lloyd. He's that's a disaster. Get rid of Marshawn Lloyd.
He's again one of those guys that they see such great huge potential in, but he keeps getting injured and
he can't stay on the field.
Can't stay on the field. What has he played? A total of 4 games since they drafted him? 4 or 5 that he's actually been active for.
I believe that number's lower than that. I think 2 games.
I think
he's had like 15 carries in 2 years. I want to say he didn't play the first game last year. And I think he may have made his debut in the second game for a couple of plays. And then in the third game, I think he got injured again. And then he tried to come back and he got injured again. He's just like that episode of SpongeBob. I have paper, bones, and glass organs or something like that. I can't remember. I think he's
yeah. I'm looking at the injury report and it's crazy, man. It is. The week 16 injury report, a lot of questionables. Excuse me. As you mentioned, Marshawn Lloyd is out. Josh Weil is out.
Wiley, Josh Wiley. He's a really good tight end. But they brought up another guy. They either brought up a guy or picked a guy up off waivers. I think they picked the guy off waivers.
John Williams is out, and Colin Oliver is out. A lot of questionables. Chris Brooks and Igbari. Golden's got a wrist injury, but there's a dash next to his name. So I guess that means he's in.
I haven't heard that he's out.
Or game day.
Colin Oliver, you said he's out? Are you sure he's out? Because I saw last night that he was playing.
Colin Oliver, defensive lineman, hamstring. This says he's out.
Okay.
I don't know what FP stands for. Thursday FP. LP FP. So that was his week.
Limited practice, full practice.
Full practice. Okay, so he did. Okay. Zach Tom questionable, but probably not. You think so?
I think he will, to be honest with you. I mean, maybe not. It might be smarter not to have him play because we have options at offensive line. We have options. So it might be smart to keep him out one more week. Because it seems like we keep bringing him back too soon.
We got 18 guys on the injury report. Okay. So that doesn't mean they're all out. It just means there's 18 guys on the injury report and 1, 2, 3, at least 4 of them are out. Here's your Bears injury report. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The 2 big ones being Burden and Odunze are out. Ogbongbingo, which I think Obonga Bingma. I can't say his name. He's a linebacker.
Yeah,
he's out.
I can't remember. I have to look at it and
Mr. Amen. Mr. Amen. 4 guys questionable, and DeAndre Swift, the big name on that list with the groin injury. He limited practice on Thursday. Cole Kmet also, he was in full practice Thursday, but still questionable. Yeah. So either way, we're going to see 2 teams not at full strength, but definitely at full emotional investment because this is the rivalry. This is the big game. And it's going to be exciting to watch. So I'm excited to see what happens tonight. I do think it'll be a Packers victory, but I think it's going to be pretty low scoring. I think it's going to be a 13-10 type of a situation today. I don't
for some reason I think we're going to score some points. We don't have any trouble scoring points, even against the best defense in the league, the Denver Broncos, who after Micah Parsons went down, they were smelling blood in the water. They went after Jordan Love with a fury. They still weren't really getting to him. They were and they weren't. I mean, we had some 3-and-outs, but we also scored a couple of touchdowns. We scored because we had it was 16-14 at the half. I guess we only scored 1, and we went for 2. and got it. So it was 24, 30, no, 34 to 26. We didn't go for 2. We scored a touchdown and a field goal in the second half. So, but what I was saying is, we scored, and we could have scored more. That long shot we took, the one that got injured, Christian Watson injured with his shoulder.
So close. Yeah.
That was, that ball's a little bit, and he threw it off his back foot because he had Ufawango or Umafango or whatever his name was bearing down on him. And that ball was a perfectly thrown ball. It was right there, but it was perfectly thrown for Pat Surtain as well. And he reached in and grabbed it. Okay, so that ball is like a foot or 2 higher, and Christian Watson grabs it up here. Now we've got probably another touchdown, and we're up 31-14. We were watching this going, oh my God, that was it.
Come on.
So what is the Bears defense going to look like as compared to Denver's defense? Not nearly as good. They don't have a pass rush. Denver had 55 sacks going into last week's game. I think they ended up with 3 sacks of Jordan Love, so maybe they got 58 now. The Bears have, I don't know, don't quote me on this, I think they have like 12 sacks all year. That's a decidedly different number. And it may be more than that. It could be 20. I don't know, but I don't think it is. But they've got a lot of interceptions. They have 12 interceptions. And they have like 26 takeaways because
they're up to like 30 takeaways now. It's crazy.
They probably are. Yeah. They strip the ball. They go in there and start grabbing at it. And that's fine. That's fine. And remember the peanut punch they do that, whatever. So we just have to hold on to the football and don't let that happen. And Jordan Love needs to be protected. That's really going to be the key to the game. I know I said the middle of that field, the middle of that play is going to be where the game's won or lost. It is. But that's because if Jordan Love is protected, he's going to hit the middle of that field too, because the Bears linebackers are good, but they're not great. And that is where we're going to absolutely eat our lunch all day long with a couple of long shots mixed in. Remember, Christian Watson is playing. He's going to be limited. From what I understand, Matthew Golden is back. He was the number 1 receiver last week. He had 3 catches for, I want to say 55 yards. He had a couple of really nice catches. So Matthew Golden can get some distance on a long shot. He can beat that Bears secondary. You've got Jaden Reed too, a healthy Jaden Reed now.
He's a healthy. He had a full practice Thursday. Did not participate Wednesday, but he had a full practice Thursday. And his he had a personal thing. It wasn't even an injury that kept him off.
Okay. All right. Well, we are good to go. I really, truly believe the Packers are going to score 30 points. 30-16. 30-16. I think the Bears will kick 3 field goals and they'll get a touchdown.
Well, it's fun how sometimes these rivalry games, it happens every once in a while where momentum just takes over and one gets 2 down. Yep. We've seen some blowouts over the years. I think one of the most heartbreaking ones was, I think that one year the Bears beat the Packers in Lambeau, like 55-10 or something crazy like that. And this is a while ago. This was, I think, back in Walter Payton days. But obviously that one still sticks with me a little bit, but there's been some years where it's just something happens and it just turns on the scoring machine for one team or the other. I don't know that that's going to happen on a cold Chicago day here in Saturday in December of 2025, but I'm still thinking like 13-10. I think it's going to be
as long as we're the ones with 13, I'm good. I don't care if the score is 2-0 Green Bay. And by the way, the Bears did beat the Packers 2-0 back in the 1930s, 20s or 30s. I think it might have been like 25, 2-0. Lowest score you can get in a game. So, here's one interesting thing about the Bears and giving up. If you remember, I had a bunch of friends over watching a Bear Packer game. It was on a Monday night, and most of us were Packers. There was about 8 of us, and there were 3 or 4 of my friends were Bear fans. The Packers won the game like 47-14, and every time I turned around, Aaron Rodgers was throwing another touchdown pass. I was almost embarrassed. I was like, oh my God.
Here it is. I found it, Tom. September 27th, 1931. Bears. No, September. I'm sorry. Where'd you go? I just saw you. Where'd you go?
December 7th, 1941. A day that will live in infamy.
I lost it. It was right here.
No,
and I
you said
lost it.
1931 anyway.
There it is. There it is. October 16th, 1932. Packers 2, Bears 0.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the Bears beating the Packers. I don't know.
October
Maybe
16th.
AI is lying again.
This comes from the football database, footballdb.com.
Okay. All right.
So I think I should trust this one. It goes all the way back to 1921's first game, where the Chicago Staleys beat the Packers 20-0.
Okay.
And then they met again in 1923. The Bears beat the Packers 3-0.
Okay.
And in 1924, the Bears beat the Packers 3-0.
Wow.
Finally, the Packers win against the Bears September 27th, 1925, 14-10.
Okay. The Bears did win 2-0 on some game. Obviously not the Packers. So check that out. Maybe you'll find it. I'm reasonably sure about that.
Okay.
Again, I wasn't around then. So
here's a Bears-Packers game 6-2 in 1931.
Oh, wow.
The Packers beat the Bears 6-2. 1932, Packers 2, Bears 0. That was an October game.
Mm-hmm.
1937, Bears 14, Packers 2. 1938, Bears 2, Packers 0.
Okay, there you go.
There it is, 1938. Another September game in 1938. That's hilarious. That is
all right.
So there's way back history back there.
Yeah, that's so interesting to look at that. So what I was going to say is, in that Detroit, Green Bay Chicago game, where the Packers just kept running it up. They weren't running it up. The Bears gave up, and that was the problem. This Bears team will not give up. So you're not going to have to worry about the Packers winning. Now, I say they're going to score 30 only because I think they're going to come out like barnstormers, and I think they're going to score early and often. I think the Packers are going to score on their first 3 or 4 drives. Look at what they did against Denver last week. Against the #1 defense, they scored on their first 5 drives. And then in the second half, they could have had another one. That could have been a blowout. That could have been a 42-14 game. It was that close. And a couple of crazy injuries. Now think about it. If Green Bay catches that ball, if Christian Watts #1, Jordan Love doesn't get the interception. Patrick Surtain doesn't intercept it, because that play would have been a touchdown for the Packers. Micah Parsons doesn't get injured because it changed the butterfly effect. It changes the dynamic of the whole game. And then Zach Tom probably doesn't get injured. And Christian Watson doesn't have the injury. I mean, my God. And the Packers then would probably be the #1 team in football. Not #1 team record-wise, because the Rams or Seattle would be #1.
Yeah.
And New England would be #1. But the Packers would be 10-3-1, and they would be in the driver's seat for the #1 seed right now. Or they'd be in second place. And then all we'd need is a Seahawks loss.
Well, it's going to be a race.
That's how important one play is. Now, on the other side of the ball, Green Bay is also not going to roll over and die. Chicago's not going to beat Green Bay by 12 points. I say 30-16 because I think it's going to be a little closer than that. I think it's going to be like a 23-16 game, and the Packers are going to get a late touchdown. Sometimes the score is a misnomer. Sometimes the score isn't indicative of what the game really was like.
Yeah.
The first game, well, like the first game that the Bears and the Packers played, they were up. Packers were up 14-3. And then it was 14-10, if I'm remembering correctly, and then 21.
They let them back in
to 11. No, it wasn't. It was 21-3. Am I correct on that? No, it was 14-3. Then the Bears went 14-11. Then the Packers went up 21-11. Then they tied it again. and then the Packers won it. So I guess the game was close, but Green Bay clearly dominated in a lot of ways in that game, but they also dominated Denver last week in the first half. So
I found the game that I was thinking about earlier that pretty much scarred me for life. December 7th, 1980. December 7th, 1980. Packers 7, Bears 61.
Oh, 61-7.
I believe Walter
Yes.
Payton threw a touchdown in that game.
He did. He absolutely did. I know that because I just read that the other day. He's one of a handful of running backs or players who have thrown a pass, ran for a touchdown, and caught a touchdown pass in the same game. It's been done 12 times.
Yeah. Vince
61-7. I
Vince
remember
Evans
that.
was the Chicago Bears starting quarterback. Vince Evans' quarterback rating that day, 158.3.
That is a perfect rating, by the way.
That is a perfect rating.
You can't get any better than that.
Let's see. Can this be right? Neither team scored in the first quarter. It was 0-0 at the end of the first quarter. Walter Payton had a 1-yard run touchdown in the second. Walter Payton, a 3-yard run touchdown. Roland Harper, 1-yard run. James Lofton for the Packers, 15-yard pass from Lynn Dickey. And then Brian Boschnagel, 4-yard pass from Vince Evans. So it's 28-7 at halftime. And then it just got worse from there. Robin Earl, 9-yard pass from Evans. Ricky Watts, 53-yard pass from Vince Evans in the third. Walter Payton, 14-yard run. Len Waltersheed, interception return for Chicago. And Willie McClendon, 2-yard run for Chicago. So Payton did not throw a pass in this game, or at least he didn't have to throw a touchdown pass. I think he threw a pass.
What? The touchdown pass he threw was in 1979. Now that I think about it.
He was great at that. They threw that out there every couple times a season where he would throw a pass. And the man was amazing. Walter Payton was Sweetness for a reason. He was called Sweetness for a reason.
I shook his hand and got his autograph. That's my claim to fame.
Oh, that's cool. That's so
and I haven't washed my hands since.
Which is why I never shake your hand. The history of the Bears Packers is it's now currently 109, 96, and 6. Obviously the Packers over the last 30 years have just dominated the Bears because they had a lot of catching up to do, and they caught up and passed them by 13 games. So 109, 96, and 6. Packers lead the series, and today's game is going to be good. All the games have been really good recently. They've been in the last couple of years. They've all been good games.
I do want to see good games, yes, but I don't like the idea of parity in the NFL. I want it to be natural parity. I don't want it to be, don't let another team stack, whatever. But the way they're doing it, the way Roger Goodell is doing it, it's almost like we're going to make this just the most even league possible. You can't force that kind of stuff.
No.
You do it with making, where you playing a game, what day you're playing. They're just trying to do too much. And
at least currently, there's a handful of teams that just stink. And mostly it revolves around the front office. They can't pick players, and the players they do pick, they can't coach up. There's some front offices that have just totally stunk. And it seems to me the Bears have finally figured things out. They finally got the coach that they need. If they give him the tools that he wants, they're going to be successful for a decade. If they give Ben Johnson the tools he needs and wants to run his style of offense and do his thing. So I think the Bears have a bright future. The Packers have had a bright present for 30 years. So tonight's going to be fun.
It is going to be fun. I don't, boy, it's been a rough last couple of weeks, and I don't mean just football wise, because football is insignificant. in life in general, it's been cold. I've been working a lot. I'm tired. I just want to let the world go away for a while. A Packer victory would be so awesome tonight. Just to just to lift my spirits,
Uh, well,
Tomorrow there will be no Bear Packer game. I mean, no Bears game, no Packer game, because I watch two games a week. I watch the Packer game and I watch the Bear game because this way I
hmm.
can root against the Bears. Yeah, I don't hate the Bears, but I don't like them. They're our rivalry, our arch enemy. So I like
Well,
to watch both
I think
games.
it's still going to be interesting to see what the Lions do. Are they gonna
hmm
are they gonna keep it together enough to squeak in the playoffs?
No, no, I don't think so. The Lions. Okay, so here's the deal: Lions and the Bears play uh last game of the season. That's going to be very interesting.
Lions, Bears, Packers, Vikings, last game of the season.
Yes, and then I want to say the Lions play Philly. I don't know who they play today, but they might play Philly today or tomorrow or next week. But they play Philly, they play the Bears, and then they got one other game, and I don't remember who they're playing. It's not an easy road. They're going to have to win out and hope the Bears or the Packers lose out to have any shot. They've probably got about a 3% probability of making the playoffs, which is fine with me. Bye bye, Dan Campbell.
Let me tell you what the Lions play the Steelers tomorrow. So
Steelers. Okay.
Aaron Rodgers is going to do us a solid and take care of the Lions tomorrow for us, right?
I don't see that happening.
The Lions are at Minnesota on Christmas Day.
Okay, they've already played Philly then.
Lions are at Minnesota Christmas Day, and they're at the Bears on January 4th.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So Pittsburgh, Minnesota Bears. That's a doable schedule for
It
the
is.
Lions.
It is.
Yeah.
So they if things go sideways, they could possibly not only squeak into the playoffs, I think they still have a shot at winning the division.
No, I don't
Right?
think so.
Aren't they?
Well, they're 8-6. And Chicago, yeah, you're right. They could. They could. Because Chicago is 10-3. And the Packers are 9-4-1. Is that right? It doesn't make any sense. Chicago's 10-4.
Chicago's 10-4, Packers 9-4-1. So for the Bears would have to lose, and then the Packers would have to lose the last two games, and the Lions have to
Right.
win out. Which
Yeah, Lions need a lot of help, and I just don't think that. Well, here's the thing: Bears Packers play today, so one of those two teams is going to win.
the Lions
So
are
I don't think
the Lions are rooting for the Packers today. I think the Lions are rooting for today.
Yeah, because if the Packers beat the Bears and then they beat the Bears, they could possibly, if Green Bay loses out, they could possibly win the division. But with Green Bay winning, no, see, here's the thing. I think they're rooting for the Bears today.
Here's the Detroit Football Network. They've got a rooting guide for the season.
Yeah.
Week 16. So the odds of Detroit winning the NFC North are about 5%. So it's still in question.
Yeah, I said 3%.
Oh, I was wrong. Detroit's odds go up slightly if Chicago wins tonight.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I think they're going to root for Chicago because Green Bay has beaten them twice. They will have beaten Chicago twice. So they're going to get the tiebreaker over Chicago head to head. So they are definitely rooting for Chicago.
Okay. So they are rooting for Chicago. For the Lions to make the playoffs, they're likely going to need to win their final three games, obviously.
Yeah.
Starts with beating the Pittsburgh Steelers at Ford Field on Sunday. They are rooting for Washington to beat Philadelphia, which probably isn't going to happen.
I don't see it, but who knows? They beat them last year.
They're rooting for Chicago. And they are rooting for Carolina to beat Tampa Bay, which I don't think that matters a whole heck of a lot. They need San Francisco to lose at Indianapolis Monday night.
I don't see that happening either.
And that probably isn't going to happen either. So, yeah, it's really, really improbable for the Lions.
Yeah, the Lions are going to play spoiler, which is fine with me. I hope they spoil it for the Bears on, week 18. 17th game of the season. I hope they do. So, and that'll make Green Bay's road a little better.
All right. Well, if you're done, I think I'm done. I think we
Yeah.
episode again, 50 episodes this year. One more to go. We do have a show next week. We're going to talk with Rivets founder Nancy Clark.
Did we miss one?
Well, we did a couple of recap shows this season when I was out. So
okay.
Two of the shows we did that looked live were actually pre-recorded. And so episode 248 to 298. Next week will be 299. And January 3rd will be episode number 300.
Wow.
For the majority of podcasts, if you've ever looked at anybody talking about successful podcasts, the majority of podcasts that start and don't get past episode 3 is huge. The number of podcasts that never get past episode 30 is also huge. So for us to get to number 300 is pretty dang special.
Are we going to wear gladiator gear next week? 300.
That'd be fun. Anybody got some gladiator stuff we could borrow?
Yeah.
For our January 3rd show, we hopefully will have something fun to wear. I do have, I think, a special graphic I could throw up. Let me see if I've got it to show you. I call it our electric logo. Let me see if it'll load for me. This is the got to get rid of this. It's being slow. Put that back up. We have our fun Christmas logo with Santa Claus coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to Rockford. Santa Claus is coming to Rockford. I know him. Him. You met him at our house. And then we have.
I did.
How about that? How about that for Happy New Year? Hey,
I like it.
The INCROWD815 electric podcast logo. Anyway.
Yeah. Turn it down.
That's
Dang.
right. All right. That's been our year in review. Next week, another guest, some more Tom trivia as we wrap up 2025. Remember, you change the world when you help one person. Be a blessing to someone today and every day this next week. Have a very Merry Christmas.
Don't go away quite yet. You mentioned trivia. I'm sorry. Next week, then, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do trivia questions from the entire year. Something happened in January. I'm just going to do 7 of them, or I could do 12 of them.
Tom's top 12 trivia questions from the last 12 months of the INCROWD.
That's what we'll do then. Well, we could do that, but we could do,
top 5, top 10, whatever, top 7.
Yeah, because I'm not going to remember which ones I had for when. I don't keep as accurate a record as you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do trivia questions for January, February, March, April, blah, 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 blah. They'll go quick because they'll be easy. So next week will be a big time 12 questions.
Okay.
So you know what? Whoever is our guest next week, who is it again?
Nancy Clark from the Rivets.
Oh, that's right. Nancy Clark. Okay. So Nancy Clark, she could have the record for 12-0. She could.
12-0.
The Rivets could be 12-0. I won't make it too easy, but I won't make it hard.
All right.
All right, buddy.
Later, buddy. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
I'll let you.
815 in crowd. 815 in crowd. 815